Hello. It's Seafood John. Shin's still having a conniption fit after just eating. I just played with him for a while. So hopefully that'll, well, could have chilled him out. I guess not. I, I'm not complaining, really. I love that little monkey, otter, bear, pig, puppy butt. Anyway, so we're on the sort of foundational four main Jing hand postures from Grasp Bird's Tail of Yang style Taiji Chuan. Now we are on to Ji. Ji Jing is pressing energy, also known as squeezing energy. When we actually play it, it's almost going to be, you can almost think of it like a vice. If you got on like a workbench table, we got the one side, it's kind of there and solid and bolted in. And then there's that big long thing and you crank the other side, and as you do, it presses in and it will squeeze something in together. That's what we're kind of thinking about with this, that squeezing in there. So that's why it's pressing, squeezing. This also is going to be the foundation of China. China is the seizing, locking, grabbing part of Chinese martial arts. So you see guys do like the wrist grabs with that, or again like armbar, like we were talking about with Lou. Even choke holds, ankle locks, figure fours, wrist locks, finger locks, all that other stuff. Anytime there's a lock, anytime there's a hold, any of that other stuff, we're talking about jijing. We're talking about moving one thing one way, that's going one way, and the other thing the other way. So that's pressing, squeezing. If you got wave hands, has that in with it too. A lot of them do. I saw this one video recently. I was just doing some general research on some of the energies, and there's a lot of stuff I was kind of like, what? No, with that. But one thing I thought that the guy said that was interesting, made me think, was that Ji Jing and Lei Jing, the splitting energy, are kind of like opposites. So you have one thing kind of pressing in, the other one splitting and coming out and opening up. I thought that was kind of interesting. And I say it as a way to sort of illustrate, we have open and splitting and opening someone out, which kind of Yang style likes to do. If we're talking about push hands, we're talking about some of the martial applications is kind of opening the other person up in order to go in and play and do what you're going to do to defend yourself or play in the tournament or whatever like that. So it's almost similar if we're talking about Swai Jiao. You kind of want to have the inside grip. So, you can open up or come in and do whatever you're going to do with that. Ji Jing, pressing, squeezing. This is the transition from Lu is almost deceptively a little difficult. And one of the reasons for that, I'm going to kind of get into a bigger thing here just for a second, is that when that hand is coming up, a lot of people, and I see this all the time, and I'm about it, kind of just let the hand go and kind of flail up and it's going to do whatever. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this because for two reasons, two sort of main reasons that I talk about mostly is one, you release. Well, they both kind of combine with that idea of release. So it's kind of two ideas born out of one sort of main heading. And that main heading is release. Where if I have someone's arm bar here and I'm going to change that hold and I let my hand do this, I let go of their hand. I released their hand. So the only pressure they have now is just kind of me pushing them off to the side. And that's very easy to then redirect or do something different with. It's not that hard. So you let it go. Not only that, we're also talking about releasing then the energy you're trying to build up and circulate and refine as you play your Taiji. We talk about in terms of internal alchemy. You want to do what you can, the Qigong, the Taiji, the Xingyi, the Bagua, the Reiki, the acupuncture, meditating, all that other stuff. You're trying to sort of build in and put money in that piggy bank or fill the tub or fill the container with it. And when you start releasing sort of things, it's that energy's kind of coming out. You know, you fill a water balloon, but you don't poke a hole in it if you want to actually use the water balloon. You know, you have a tub, you fill up a tub, you want to take a nice relaxing bath, you don't start, you know, taking a big railroad spike and pumping it through and puncturing holes into the tub. You know, if you have a piggy bank, you don't just knock a hole in the side of it and let the change come out as fast as you put it in. But people will do this as they play the forms and the routines. So this is part of the sort of mental elucidation of actually practicing the routines and the postures with intent. You have to pay attention to these things because it's not just, oh, well, as long as the arms are moving in a kind of general way, then this is going to be okay. No, it's not. Because you don't have the sort of muscle, sort of, I say gross, I don't mean like disgusting. I mean gross isn't just sort of big, unrefined sort of force of the muscle. And then, okay, well, I have bigger muscles than you, and I'm faster, so I can do this. You can't rely on that. Not saying there's anything wrong with it. There are people who do wonderful things with externals and are brilliant artists and raising their own consciousness with that. Swaijao, Sanshou, you know, external Gong Fu, karate, any of that other stuff that's external. There are wonderful people doing wonderful things with that. They are filling that up, and are eventually probably moving almost internal with it as well. So I'm not disparaging externals at all. I practice some stuff in myself. Great respect for it. Really fun. A lot of great stuff. But in terms of what we're talking about now with this specific subject of Taiji Chuan, and especially as we're talking about Yang style Taiji Chuan, not that Chen or the Wus or Sun don't have this, but I'm just trying to make a category here. We don't want to release. You know, from the commencement to the closing, it's supposed to be all one motion. It's all continuous. It's all smooth. Chen style might have specific exercises built in to teach silk reeling. That doesn't mean Yang style doesn't have silk reeling too. It should. All Taiji should have the silk reeling in with it. And that's going to be connected, round, circular, continuous movements, not just, there's certain things we have to do if we're teaching or just learning and practicing to build up to that. But the idea is we're getting rid of that. We make it all smooth, keep it all together, all one circle. Almost have that sort of gyroscope. You can kind of think of that around your body with, we talked about the three circles, the coronal, vertical, horizontal. And you can we're in three-dimensional space. Your body's moving in three-dimensional space. You can take that gyroscope and kind of move it in certain ways, including these sort of diagonals. And if you're looking at your body, it's going to go shoulder to hip. This is about a 45-degree angle. Now again, a side little note with that. When I say 45-degree angles and the feet and all this other stuff, there will be slight differences depending upon the person, their body structure, injuries. I'm pigeon-toed, so I have to kind of cheat my feet out a little bit more. Some people might be duck foot. Some people might have other problems. My legs are a little bit longer in terms of proportion than my torso. Other people might be the other way around. Injuries, flexibility, tendons, all this other stuff going in. Other things they do, other sort of athletic stuff or dancing or whatever. All these things create slight differences in what we're going to do. So I say 45-degree angle, and you get out like a compass and a sextant and all this other stuff, and you take pictures of yourself playing, and it's not directly that. Don't beat yourself up over it. That's okay. Get it as close to that as you can and still be correct in keeping your body as one whole unit. Come here. Shin wants to say hi. Say hello. Say hello. Hi, Mama. Oh, you got your little warm bed. Oh, I know. I gotta get your feet. I gotta hold your feet. Gotta hold your foots. So Shin wants to say hi. Now this, I can't really do a posture with this. He's checking out. He loves, it's about to storm here soon. We both love storms. No little pig bear. He's my baby. Get that belly. Look at his belly. Belly, 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 belly. I'm trying to think how I can use this for pressing and squeezing. This is almost more just sort of punk and lifting. Right, buddy? Right, buddy? You're a little piece of dense matter. Give me a minute. Hello. All right. So we have Lu. Now I'll play both sides again to illustrate this. We have Lu. Now this backhand's the one I'm talking about in terms of maintaining that continuous thing, not releasing. So I'm just going to do one hand, I'm going to do the other, put them together. So we have the backhand be the left hand here at the dantian. Now watch the curve of my arm. A whole arm, even through the fingers. Remember, we're thinking about connecting points from the shoulder, down the tricep, elbow, through the forearm, wrist, and even out through the fingertips. So I'm here at 45, and this is going to stay round like I'm keeping hold of the hand. I'll even kind of hook here so you can kind of see that. If I hook and I come up, set at the shoulder, and press forward. So this hand, almost, you know, if you're throwing a ball, kind of circle up, keeping that nice curve of the arm, keeping the E in there engaged up to the shoulder as we turn, and it pushes. One more time. I'm here down low, I circle up to the shoulder, and again, moving that wrist and pushing forward. The right hand, which is pushing, is going to rotate and set the hips at the same time. So as this arm, the right arm, is going to rotate, set the hips. Now the rotation is in the forearm. I have another video of talking about keeping the hand up, the arm up, and it's rotating it with the forearm. You start playing around too much with this elbow, and you can probably see there's an arm and there's the rest of my body. We want to keep everything all as one. So as I turn and set my hips, I rotate that arm and set. So this is more parallel to the ground than pung, but it comes in from bringing that wrist down more than bringing the elbow up. You bring the elbow up, you see how that shoulder pops. It's coming up near my ear. I don't want that. I want the shoulders even, nice and relaxed. Again, relax the chest, back lifts, the spine extends. So I'm here, I rotate the forearm, turn the hip, and it's going to come together. Now again, many energies in one thing, because here is a nice little pump. And if you're doing, I did a little thing with my foot there, it's really kind of cool. If you're doing almost like neutralizing drills, have someone like kind of pushing on you and you're trying to do this, you're going to do this a lot. Because you help kind of support your arms with it. You know, like if you look at the skeleton of a building, you know, you kind of have those angles and those support structures in with that. So this hand's out, rotate the forearm, palm in, forearm mostly parallel to the ground and flat. My weight's back, shoulders and the hips, everything nice and square going forward. Put it together. So we're here from Lu. And both hands, everything's moving all at once. You know, I say that the body really isn't like a watch with cogs and all this other stuff that you can just take out and put it in a machine. Body's an ecosystem. This is true in terms of actual health, the way the actual body operates, but you can still think of it in terms of just pure mechanics, because your joints can only go certain directions. Your muscles only pull. You know, your body has certain limitations, and within that, you want to get everything to work. The analogy with everything working in concert together, like the inside of a watch, I think holds up for this, if not for healthcare. So I'm here. That left hand circles up as the right arm rotates, and I set my hips square. As I do that, and I push from that back heel, I squeeze. So that left hand comes up. This right hand's that part of the vice. Yeah, vice that stays on the desk and doesn't move. This other one's the one that with the little cranky wheel that you into. Squeeze. One hand's going one way, the other hand's going the other way. And creating that, you can even feel it inside the body. It's even inside. Actually, it should feel inside and then translate outside anyway, but it's, first you kind of play with this and then you kind of feel it, but it's really the other way that drives it. So from new again, rotate the hands, left hand circles up, right arm rotates parallel to the ground, set the hips, and press forward. Good. So, and then the other side to mirror you if you want to watch or play along at home. Circle up, left hand, right arm rotates. Set the hips and squeeze. Again, from the moon. Circle up, rotate the arm, set the hips, press. I like press. Press is usually the translation I've seen. Later on, I've seen squeeze, so I'll say both in terms of things, just to whatever works for people. Just present what I can, because people are, again, they're going to catch things different ways. So I'm here, I circle up, rotate the arm, turn the hips, square everything off, and squeeze. All right, there is Jing, the squeezing, pressing energy of Taiji Chuan. Bye. Like, subscribe, share.